Welcome to Monday Motivations, 52 weeks to a more purposeful you. And this week we are talking about compliment seeds. I'm Corry Mendoza and we have Carmen Gomez. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So we just met actually today. Our guest last week, Rick Rummelhart, he introduced us, and from Rick being on the show right away, he said, I know who you have to have on the show, Carmen. She's amazing. He said that you do so much great work. So I'm going to read your bio so everyone can hear a little bit about you, and then we'll jump right into our topic. So
Sure.
Carmen Gomez is an entrepreneur who owns a successful insurance agency and is a co-author of the book Destiny Talks. That sounds so interesting. She's also a professional life coach and a Psych-K Facilitator. What is that?
Psych-K, and you said it correctly.
Okay.
Some people say psychic. I'm not a psychic. It's a Psych-K Facilitator. So basically, it's kind of like another methodology. It's like hypnosis, like to change beliefs.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm a Psych-K Facilitator.
Okay. Psych-K Facilitator. What does the K stand for?
It's kind of like, the psyche, your psyche, like it's kind of like the meaning of the K means it's like the key to access your subconscious mind.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah,
Yes.
because we have so many unconscious driving belief systems and core beliefs, and I've been doing a lot of work on beliefs for the last 15 years, and we have to definitely talk more about that.
Definitely.
So you assist people in releasing beliefs that no longer serve them. That is amazing. Wow. So what did you think about this week's message on compliment seeds?
When I read it, when Linda sent me what we were going to be talking about, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the topic. And it's just, it touched my heart because I used to be the type of person that would always use my words on the negative way.
Really?
It's like planting seeds, it's our mind, it's like a garden. And whatever you plant on it, it's what you grow. So basically, I found it amazing and I love the topic.
Well, and it probably really blends well with the coaching work that you do with people and their subconscious mind. So what do you think, how can people, all those seeds maybe that were planted in their childhood years and they're just been growing in their subconscious mind, how can a person kind of start working on that garden, if you will?
Well, in order to change something, you have to understand it. You have to know what's wrong with it, right? And a lot of people don't know the power. They just listen that speak positive or, but they don't really understand the meaning of it. And it's really like, there's what's the word on the Bible? I can't think the word in English, but it's basically says that in the beginning there was the word.
Yes.
And the word was with God. And the word, it's God. So we create through our speaking. We create with our words. Yeah. And before we speak, we think. So it's a thought. Yeah. And some people don't think about, okay, where do thoughts come from? Have you ever asked yourself that, Corry? Where do our thoughts come from?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
And
I a while back I did a talk, and I used in one of my slides on the talk, I used a picture of a root system. And this talk and this slide came from a quote in a movie. And the guy in the movie said, people don't know what to do when their belief system collapses. And it's kind of like, we have a belief system that forms like a perspective, and then it keeps producing more thoughts that reinforce the system.
Yes, yes. And, you know, as a Psych-K Facilitator, I was able to like really study it more.
Yeah.
And our body, we have cells, and our cells have memory. And
Yes.
there is this biologist. I don't know if you have heard about him, but his name is Bruce Lipton. He
No.
says that we have over 50 trillion cells, 50 trillion cells.
Yeah.
And out of those 50 trillion cells, 95%, it's our programs, our beliefs. So how does that affect us? Well, it can affect us if we had like a rough childhood, if our parents, grandparents, family members spoke mean in a negative way, if they would put us down, if people around the community or in your surroundings were to speak negative about you, your parents, and it affects every aspect of our life. When the people around us, there was I don't, you probably read the book, The Four Agreements.
Yeah. Yes, I love
And
that.
I love this. I love one of the examples that he uses where there was this mom who was feeling sick, and then her daughter was happy and she was singing, and the girl was singing loudly. She was very happy, but the mom had a headache. She did not feel well. And the girl she had a beautiful voice, but the mom, in her frustration with the pain of the headache, she said, "Oh, be quiet, you sing horrible." So she told that to the little girl. So the little girl believed it. So she made it an agreement. So that's another thing, you know, with the
Yes.
complement seeds, whatever we plant, whatever
Yeah.
we feed our subconscious mind, our belief system is how we react. And
Yeah.
that's the way we live life
Yeah.
from our belief system.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I like that you brought up the part about the agreements. So, with sometimes when we give people compliments, they won't receive them, or they
yes,
won't have an agreement. So we'll say like, "Oh my gosh, you have such beautiful skin." And I've said this before. I'll go, "Oh no, I'm starting to get crow's feet," or, and so we basically don't make an agreement with something positive trying to get in, because we're so fixed and in agreement with another belief.
yes, yes. And you asked, how can we change that? And that's why I went into, you know, our subconscious mind, our belief system, how we were raised. So basically, to change that, we have to plant new seeds. What does that mean? A new belief system. A new belief system that is going to take you where you want to get. So if you want to be successful, you have to be very positive and you have to study successful people. There is so much we can share in
I
20
know.
minutes.
I know. I'm glad that you reminded me of my question of how do you, improve the subconscious mind? How do you improve the belief system? And you started by saying we have to understand. I think you were saying we have to understand what we're starting with.
Yes, and for me, planting seeds and complementing seeds, it's like, you know, what are we feeding our mind, our system, our belief system? So if people are not aware that they are feeding the negative food, the negative thoughts, the negative beliefs, and that is going to give them the reality that they are not committed to having, they're going to keep doing it. So in order for someone to change that, they have to be aware of how they are speaking and also their belief system. And but basically, the most important thing is that people need to feed in like a new belief, a new belief system.
Yeah, and really to change our belief system, it is very, like you said, it goes into the cells. Have you heard of the book The Body Keeps the Score?
I have not.
Oh, you would love that book. And
Okay.
Feelings Buried Alive Never Died. That's another one. And it's like,
Wow.
yeah, so when things happen to us, it's not only in a thought memory, but it's in the physiological memory in the cells.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm curious, okay, so what are some other ways a person can change their belief system beyond awareness and putting new thoughts in? I think those were the two that you had mentioned.
Yes, well, as a life coach, you mentioned that's one of my certifications that I also possess, and
Yeah.
I do practice it. I do individual coachings, and I also do courses.
Okay.
I used to do the courses in Spanish only
Okay.
because I know I'm aware I have an accent. English is my second language, but
Okay.
in the past, I would always say, oh, my English is horrible. I used to say that. And
Oh, yeah.
so when I would speak, it was sometimes some of the words would come out not beautiful.
Yeah.
But I was sending that message, to the universe, and I believed it. I believed that I had a horrible accent, and there is no such thing as a horrible accident. You
Oh,
just have an
no.
accent. It's like
Yeah.
people just have an accent, and it's okay to have an accent as long as you get the point across,
How's
right?
my accent? Do you like my accent?
Ah, you have an accent.
Well, it's funny because I mean, I have to look up the definition of an accent, but it's like an English speaking person going to a different country has an English accent. And I don't mean English from England, I mean America.
Yes,
So an American accent.
yes.
It's funny because which accent is right or wrong, or which accent is an accent or not. But
It's,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but that's a
So,
good example of
yes. So, okay, so for me, how can people start changing that? Well, and I'll say this as a life coach. One of the things I do with people, it's that I give them, it's a tool. It's the wheel of life.
oh
And
yeah.
in the wheel of life, there are the most important aspects of life.
Mhm.
And some people just focus on like three
Yeah.
aspects of life, and then let's say there is eight. They only focus on the first three, and then they forget about the other five.
Mhm.
Well, if you're not aware of the other aspects of life um, that you are missing out on, it's like you're not going to do anything about it.
Mhm.
So, what I do and what I advise, and the people that are listening to us, it's and they can look up in Google Wheel of Life,
Yeah.
right? The
Mhm.
Wheel of Life. And then once you have the Wheel of Life, you can look at each aspect of your life and then think about it. Like, for example, finances. Okay, on finances, where am I at? Am I where I want to be? What would I like to accomplish? How much? You ask yourself questions. If you don't ask yourself questions, you're not going because you have the answers within you. And
Mhm.
if you don't ask yourself any questions, you're not going to really get anywhere. You're just going to stay where you're at.
Mhm.
And on aspects of life, there is one that some people, so what is that? Like, in Spanish, it's ocio, which
Mhm.
means leisure time,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
vacation time, hobbies. It's like
Yep.
things that
Play.
give you, yes.
Yeah.
And people, they don't even make it it's not in their life. It's like they
Mhm.
don't practice it. They don't do anything. They just work, clean, cook,
Mhm.
work, pay bills. It's just work, work, work,
Yeah.
work. Hmm.
Yeah. That is
Yes.
that is so important. Even with the way that our brains function, our different neural pathways. There's one that is for fun, creativity, like you said, like a hobby where you are losing time And there's actually another book out there, Daniel Pink's book, Drive. He talks
Drive.
about Drive. He talks about how what motivates us is autonomy, mastery, and purpose.
Oh, that's
So,
another.
yeah, so the mastery, so purpose is like a vocation, ministry, there's purpose, work
Yes.
that's to contribute, but mastery can be like learning how to play the violin or playing. It's
Yes.
a hobby. It's something that we pour into. And in the past couple of years, I have picked up a hobby, and it's been quite a relationship I've had with my hobby of like breaking up, getting back together, because as a grown up with responsibilities and work, we have to be intentional to protect that time and energy.
Yes.
Something that's not going to pay the bills, keep our kids afloat, like all the responsibilities. It's purely for enjoyment and fun.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes. And, that reminds me of another very important point. We are body, mind, and spirit, right?
Yeah.
Or soul, and if we're not inspired, if we don't have anything that makes us happy, joyful, inspired. Wayne Dyer used to say that when you're not inspired, you're not in your spirit.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to find things that give you satisfaction, happiness, joy, pleasure, just fun. Because if not, life would be, I don't know, not fun, not joyful. Yes.
Yeah, my I do a theme of the year, but then I do a theme every month. And my theme this month is joy.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. I really got that. I should start applying that too, and recommending it to the people that take coaching with me, because all of us can use it. All of us can apply it and be happier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find, how is it for you in terms of giving compliment seeds or planting compliment seeds in other people's lives and with yourself? Is this something that comes easy for you? Is it something that you've worked on? What's it been like?
Yes, yes, I'm glad you asked, because that is the topic. That's what the topic is about. And yes, I do it now. I do it with myself. I'm nice to myself. I speak positive about me. And now, at first, I used to just like, yeah, right. I would like not accept it. It was hard in the beginning, because I used to speak negative, right? Or like with I would diminish myself, right? But now it's like I compliment myself. I'm grateful. And then also I I've been practicing this for like, I think, for the past 4 years. And it's easy for me to share compliment seeds to others. And not everyone accepts them. Just like you said, if someone tells you like, oh, you have beautiful skin, and then a lot of people go like, but have you noticed this? Or, it's like sometimes people are not used to accepting or receiving compliments. But that's something that I do. I do that with myself, and I do that with the people around me.
Yeah, I think it was Saturday, I was having like, I just didn't feel good. I was just emotionally and mentally having a not very good day. And I was at Home Goods, and when I was checking out, the gal at the register, she gave me a compliment. I don't even remember the first one that she said. And I kind of was like, oh, thank you. Like, I didn't really receive it or soak it in. And then after like a few seconds, I was like, you know what? I said, thank you. So then I really soaked it in. I said, thank you. I said, I really needed to hear that today. So thank you. And she goes, I really like your shirt and your shorts. Like I remembered the other part of her compliment.
Yes.
Because I wasn't really receiving the first part.
Right.
But then she was like, yeah, I really like your whole outfit. And I was like, what? And then, then she and I had a moment, like, it was,
Yes.
thank you. Like, and I saw her light up, that her compliment, brought me life. And it was just a cool exchange.
See, what I hear is that basically by you accepting it, it's like you opened up for more. She kept
Yes.
giving you compliments, and then you guys bonded. It's like,
Yes.
next time you see her, you're gonna say, "Hey, you," like,
Yeah.
like you're gonna feel like you know her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I think we should practice that more, like every day, like every day.
Yes. Yeah. Well, every day, every interaction we have with people,
Yes, because we really don't know what the other person might be going through. And if you were nice and you gave that person a compliment, that can shift the mentality. And maybe you can set that person to a positive mood. And if she was procrastinating on something,
yeah.
maybe by that compliment, it's like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to shift my mentality and I'm going to take action on this thing that I was procrastinating on. It's like
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
never know. So it's definitely everyone should keep doing it.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is part of your list that we were kind of going through with how to change our subconscious mind, but I imagine that consistent repetition of similar messages might help create like new neural pathways with our belief system. So, for example, if let's say we have a deeply rooted belief that I'm not valuable, so say that formed in our childhood, and then it's just this unconscious driving belief. But if people around us consistently say, oh wow, that was so valuable, you're such an integral part of this family or this team, and we keep hearing the positive message that counteracts the negative message, it will help uproot that old message and then grow a new one. Would you
Oh,
agree? Is
yes,
that part of the
I totally agree. And repetition, how do they say it? Is it repetition is the mother of all, something like that?
oh
It's,
yeah,
so,
yeah, I know that repetition is the mother of all.
but it's basically, it's a habit. You
Yeah.
have to start creating habits.
Mhm.
And that when people are going through hard times, to think positive, it's like the hardest thing to do when someone is going through like a difficult time.
Mhm.
So what's my recommendation? It's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely have a gratitude journal
Mhm.
and write down what you're grateful for. What are the things that you're grateful for in your life? What are the things you appreciate about your parents, your mom,
Mhm.
dad, husband,
Mhm.
or children if they have any,
Mhm.
but yes, having a gratitude journal does give you this positive mindset, and you can start shifting from that negative aspect or that negative situation to
Mhm.
a world of creation. Who
Mhm.
do you want to be?
Mhm.
What new habit do you want to program?
Mhm.
So it's definitely, for me, that's one of the tools that has also contributed to my
Mhm.
growth and to my achievements and my results.
Mhm.
So definitely, you know, changing the
Absolutely.
habits and have a gratitude journal.
Mhm.
And then the other one, it's having like-minded people around you, like a partnership with someone who's positive, someone who has goals,
Mhm.
ambitions, things that are aligned
Yeah.
with the same thing that you're doing. That
Mhm.
is very important.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Being around positive people, life-giving people that we're using our words to create, love, connection. Yeah, yeah, so
And
important.
one more that I have also implemented to my life, it's that I have accountability partners. I have friends with whom I set monthly goals. Sometimes it's quarterly goals. And I share how much I have accomplished or how much more I need. And like I ask for support. Okay, this is what I need you to remind me. Or can you please ask me next week about this? Because sometimes it's easier not to do something, to leave it behind. So I recommend people to also have accountability partners to ask if we're talking about this topic, in compliment seeds, it's like have an accountability partner that reminds you. So have you done this today? Who have you complimented today? Or, just we can create accountability partners for anything we want.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's like we do so much more when we know we have a witness,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like, and it's not about being naive and, oh, I'm just going to focus on the positive. The accountability partner is also to help us to have awareness around, let me understand why I did not do what I intended to do. So we can
Yes.
unpack that and learn from it and then kind of work through it.
So for me, on the accountability partner tool, it's if you really want to achieve something, have an accountability partner. Why? Because he or she will make you accountable.
Yeah.
So if you really want to achieve something, partner up with someone, create an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm going to do that with my tennis. I'm going to work on my serves and practice 100 serves a week. So
that's awesome. See, you got some.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've been talking about that on our doubles team about doing like a little Excel spreadsheet and plugging it in there. Well, Carmen, as we wrap up this topic on compliment seeds, you've kind of already shared what your advice is to yourself to inspire others on this topic, but what's maybe one more thing that you are going to take away from our time together and in thinking about the importance of compliment seeds?
For me, since the beginning of our the podcast, you started complimenting me. And
Oh,
it's like it changes your mood. Sometimes we need to be reminded of certain things that we forget.
yeah.
Why? Because of our, the past and belief system that we already talked about for a little bit. But basically, for me, that's my biggest takeaway. Sometimes I get so into my world. I do this. I'm always doing tasks and achieving goals. And, sometimes they refer to me as like, oh, you're always busy. No, I'm productive.
Yeah.
But I'm always creating. And that's one of the things I do. I create for myself, and I'm the source for other people to do the same. I'm support. One of the things I have as a life coach, it's that my slogan is, my goal is to help you achieve yours. So basically, on everything in life, it's like we are the ones. So we start doing something. So if you want to receive, just like the lady at the grocery store, that she complimented you, see, that's one of the things you already know, but sometimes we forget. So what's my biggest takeaway? It's that, Carmen, don't forget to value yourself, appreciate yourself, be nice to yourself. And when I'm saying that to myself right now, I'm saying that to everyone who's listening to us. We must be nice to ourselves.
Yeah.
We should like appreciate what we do. We should value ourselves, love ourselves, speak positive about ourselves. And just to end this on a note, one of my things as a life coach, and I also do conferences, it's that for people who are not liking the way where things are right now, it's for me, it's an advice or recommendation or suggestion. I'm thinking in Spanish and translating as we go. But it's basically that you have the power to create. So change your belief system and redesign your destiny. And you can design, you can create whatever you want if you're really committed to. Anything is possible for us. Anything.
I love that. And I'll just close with a phrase I heard from another speaker. She said, you don't have to believe everything you think.
True.
Sometimes the thought comes in and it's like, I can accept or I can reject. And the things that are, you know, I like how you started with Genesis, like in the beginning was the word, like the word create, you know, it's like, do I accept things that I'm thinking that are in alignment with truth, or do I reject things that I'm thinking that are basically going to cause me to go towards the negative? And the choice is ours. I
love that. It's true. The choice is ours. Yes.
Carmen, so thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Yes, good. And for everybody, next week, we have just a few more weeks left in our series. We just have, I think, about 5 or 6 messages left from the book, 52 weeks, Monday Motivations, 52 weeks to a more purposeful you. So Carmen, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.